Imagine a group that started as religious students and ended up ruling a country with an iron fist. The Taliban, one of the most feared militant groups in modern history. But how did they come to power? Was it a spontaneous movement, or were global superpowers involved? Stick around as we break down the origins of the Taliban in just a few minutes. The story begins in 1979. The Soviet Union invades Afghanistan to support a communist government, but the Afghan people resist. Enter the Mujahideen, Islamic fighters backed by billions of dollars in weapons and aid from the United States, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia. Their goal was to defeat the Soviets. But here's the twist: many of these Mujahideen fighters later formed the Taliban. The war lasted 10 brutal years, with over 1.5 million Afghan killed. In 1989, the Soviets withdrew, leaving behind a shattered country. With the Soviets gone, Afghanistan fell into chaos. Mujahideen factions, once allies, turned on each other in a bloody civil war. Warlords took control of different regions and the country became lawless. In the midst of this anarchy, a new force emerged: the Taliban. Right after the birth of the Taliban, now you would want to understand what Taliban in itself as a word means. It means students in Pashto. They were young men, mostly refugees in Pakistan, trained in Islamic religious schools called as madrasas. Their leader, Mullah Muhammad Omar, a former Mujahideen fighter. Backed by Pakistan intelligence agency and supported by Saudi funds, the Taliban promised to end the warlord rule and bring peace, but at a heavy cost. They enforced a strict version of Islamic law, restricting women's rights, banning music, and carrying out brutal punishments. With that said, the Taliban takeover has started. In 1996, after years of fighting, the Taliban captured Kabul and declared an Islamic emirate. For 5 years, they ruled with extreme laws, offering sanctuary to terrorists like Osama bin Laden. But their reign wouldn't last forever. After the 9/11 attacks, the US invaded Afghanistan in 2001, toppling the Taliban government. But they didn't disappear. Instead, they launched an insurgency that lasted 20 years until their dramatic return in 2021, when they retook Afghanistan after the US withdrew. In the conclusionary part, the Taliban's rise was shaped by foreign interventions, war, and ideology. But their story isn't over yet. Will they remain in power, or will history repeat itself? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.